So there needs to be some deep breathing when we own our own business. You know what I forgot to do is to tell you that you can actually share this on your stuff. Totally forgot that. We'll have to do that next time. There's like a little button at the top that says like share. And you got to actually share it to your own stuff. What's up, peeps? My name is Sabrina Victoria. This is Her Talk Show. I got Emily Tosoni joining me today. I'm so freaking excited. For those of you who don't know, Emily and I are actually running a retreat coming up May 15th through the 18th in Georgia for women business owners. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. You know, more and more and more, Emily, keep just seeing retreats popping up. Mm-hmm. And it is just so important, especially in today's day and age, in the digital age of like all of our phones and just noise, just so much noise hitting us. The importance of just unplugging and getting with real people, right? Hugging and being up on real people is just so, so important. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So join us. You know, if you love business retreats, you're going to love this podcast. If you're thinking about it, you're kind of like open to it, but you've never done it before and you're kind of like scared, like who's going to be there? Oh my God, what do we have to do? Do I have to do the downward dog?
No, you don't.
That's what we're going to be covering today. All right, let's jump in, peeps.
Get ready, because today's guest is about to change the way you view your world. This is Her Talk Show, hosted by Sabrina Victoria.
All right, we already have a ton of people jumping on live. Thank you so much for being here. For those of you that don't know, we actually run across several different platforms: Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. So if you're hanging out and you're like, wait a minute, there's only 3 people online. Yeah, girl. That's because we're all hanging out on YouTube. What are you doing over on Facebook, or vice versa, right? So welcome. If you're here live, already jumping on, thanks for being here. If you're on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay wherever you're at so we can send you some love in the comments. We're here every day. We delve into health, wealth, and leadership with some of the most brilliant women globally. We're so excited to be here. We've interviewed over 600 women. And today we have my girl, Emily Tosoni, with us. Hey, girl, how many business retreats have you attended, like as a guest?
Oh,
like, and let's make it like it could be even eventish, right? What would you say?
Over a dozen.
Same.
Yeah.
Well over a dozen. I just like being with people.
Really trying to dive into my brain. Probably a lot. I've been to a lot of in-person conferences, retreats, one-day conferences for learning, connecting. And yeah, me too. Being in a space with people actually in a space with people physically is a different energy than how we connect online. And that's not to discount the importance of also connecting online in virtual spaces.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think Emily and I also want to be here. Like, we're not here to like convince you to go to friggin' retreat. Like, if it's not your thing, it's totally fine. Girl, we're not talking to you. Who we are talking to is people who freaking love retreats. Like, they love events. They love being around people. And then also those that are just super curious, where they're like, dude, I freaking want to, but like, I'm just a little nervous. I'm just a little scared. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's people that just don't appreciate it, and that's totally fine.
I think too, if you're listening because you're curious, but you also feel nervous because you've never attended an in-person business retreat. So there is a different feel from a conference to a retreat, because the way that we are hosting this, we'll all be staying in the same home together. You know, you'll each have your own bed, but we'll be staying together. And that fully immersive experience of not just learning with one another, being around one another, but also like we're in the same house together during downtime, can feel very intimate and overwhelming for folks that maybe haven't done that before. So we want to, the goal is to give you a different perspective so that instead of it feeling overwhelming, it feels so inviting and exciting, especially if you're in a place where you feel like your business runs you right now. Instead of you running it, this is an opportunity to be fully immersed in learning how to create the systems that will help you run your business better so that you can really be focused with your energy on the reason you started your business in the first place, which is to offer the product or service that you offer.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think one of the things that really comes up for me also is just this thought process of like, when we're at home, like if we're being honest, right? Majority of us, we're working from home. And there's like, yeah, we're working, but also like we're doing laundry and also dishes and also figuring out what to buy for groceries. And also, right? There's like so many other things that we're also doing while we're running our business. When you go away to some sort of an event, or in this case, a few-day retreat, it's forcing you to be with your business, the whole time. Even during the downtime, right? There's going to be conversations happening that are making sure that we're staying focused on you and your business, your brand, your company, and really making some movement towards it. Because when we're going in and out, it gets like one of the things that I learned a long time ago when I was learning about, what is that called, that women can do, men can't do, but then also a myth. What is that? Multitask. Did you just say multitask? So there's some people that say it doesn't exist, like it's impossible. You just stopping and going, different tasks. There's other people that say that women can actually do it. And then there's other people that say everyone can do it. But what is the point of this? The point of this is to say that like the multitasking cuts down a lot. Like even if you're like, dude, I'm an expert multitasker, to switch, that's what they call it, switching, task switching. To get back into the groove of what the frick you were doing takes 3 to 5 minutes to get back into what you thought you were doing. And then by that time, you have to be on your next call. You have to do your next thing. You have to send your next email, and you forgot what you were doing. So we're wasting a lot of time.
We're wasting a lot of time. And I know you and I have talked about this, and I hope this resonates with those of you that are watching. We also don't have anyone to challenge what it is we think we should be doing, or give us ways of looking at the way we're doing things from a different perspective that could help us come up with new and creative ways of doing it that would be more beneficial for our business. So I'll just use as an example, I was a part for about 1.5 years of an in-person co-working space. It was mostly all women business owners, and we did networking and had other events, but it was a space that you could go to at any time. There were no specific desks. It was just kind of open concept space. And I have my own home office dedicated specifically to doing business and getting work done. But I found that leaving my physical space in my home, like leaving my house and going to the co-working space, I always got more work done, even if no one else was there. But if other women were there also working, I got even more work done because there was conversation happening. Oh, I'm working on this. And they would be like, ooh, tell me more about that. Then I'd have to verbalize what it is I'm working on instead of it just living in my head. And then they would say, that sounds interesting. Tell me more. And while I'm having conversation, explaining what I'm doing, it's also creating new ways of thinking about it. And the questions that are being asked are helpful to me. And always I would leave feeling like, damn, this space is more than just a co-working space. It's like a co-creation space for new energy and new ideas. All I have to do is show up and work. But it was the literal change of scenery, like a physical space change of scenery, and also being around other women running their own businesses. Doesn't have to be the same as mine. Doesn't have to be the same as yours. But we all have similar things going on in our brain. How do I grow my business? Do I have the right offers? Am I promoting them properly? Do I have systems in place so that I don't have to be running everything all the time? Do I have automation set up that will work for me? Do I need someone to redo my website? Is my brand okay? Like these things are always eating in our brain, taking up bandwidth. And when we can be in that physical space with other women, which is exactly what we are offering with this retreat, because really, I mean, it's not just about you learning from Sabrina and I, it's also about you learning from everyone else, the 8 of you that will be there with us. we're all learning from one another. And you will leave with a completely different feeling and new ideas and new energy that you can't recreate in any other space, really, virtual or in person.
Yeah, I remember watching this, some sort of a reel or a TikTok or something with this woman. She's like some sort of productivity woman, and she said they did a study with people at work, like in a corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
People who sat next to somebody who was super productive, just like got their shit done. The person sitting next to them, their productivity went up by like 40%. Just by being close to somebody else, not working with them, just being close to them. And the same exact is true, where when that same exact person sat next to somebody who was not productive, super freaking lazy, their productivity went down by like 80%. So not to throw shade on our family or anything, but a lot of us women are in a household with somebody who is also not an entrepreneur. They don't really get it. They're kind of just doing the 9-to-5 salary thing. And that doesn't mean that they can't be a hard worker, but it just means they really don't understand the world of entrepreneurship, the hours you have to put in and the work and the amount of time that you have to put in for that. Therefore, who are you standing next to in your immediate world? When it comes to the hours, when it comes to what it takes to be an entrepreneur, a lot of times it's next to somebody who is not very productive or is not helping your productivity, right? So your productivity is going to drastically fall just because of the proximity of the people that you're around. So when you start to, this is why I talk about my community all the time, because it's like, dude, you need to be around individuals consistently who understand what you're doing.
Yep.
So this retreat is a full immersion of that, And also just the networking. I want to share, Emily, really fast, this thing that I found in entrepreneur.com. Prioritizing networking. There's this article about why retreats. Oh, look at your word, reignite.
Well, and please, everyone know the name of our retreat is Renew and Ignite, because that's what happens, right? So it works perfectly with like the fact that this article is talking about reigniting that passion. So it's all congruent, right?
Absolutely.
It's the renewal and the igniting. And anyway.
So there's this part in here that says prioritize networking, right? The people that you are around. It says connect with fellow entrepreneurs and industry leaders during the retreat. Yep. So we want to be talking, we want to communicate, we want to be chatting with people. These connections can lead to valuable collaborations, partnerships, and mentorships. Exchange ideas, share experiences, and build relationships that extend beyond the duration of the retreat. See, Emily and I, we met 3-4 years ago. We just met for the first time in person, like a month ago.
Yeah.
And we are so close. Well, how did that happen? Because we're both determined, dedicated to networking. So we fell in each other's world, and then we continued to build that networking, just like it says here, beyond the duration of that first call, that second call, that retreat, that event, wherever it is that you're at. There are people all the time, I know this, ladies listening, that you meet people and you're like, dude, that person was cool. I'm jiving with that person. I could be best friends with that person. But then you lose contact because there's no intentionality behind it. One of the things that I got really good at with my networking that I do every single time, it doesn't matter when I'm networking in person, 2 things. I get their phone number. 3 things. I get their phone number. I take a picture with them and I text them the picture. It has exponentially grown my my networking ability. Number one, when I text them back later on that night or later the next day, they remember who I am because there's a freaking picture of us right there. I also remember, which then allows me to be like, because sometimes you meet people and you're like, who did I connect with really good? Was it Laura or was it Stephanie? Oh, here's Laura. Was it Laura? Was it Stephanie? I don't freaking remember which one it was. Oh, which one had the dog? Which one had the, but when you can see their face, then all of a sudden you remember. Laura says, love the energy, appreciate the opportunity to grow my thoughts, energy, mindset, thinking differently. Yes, girl. Laura is all about the energy within the mind. Brilliant podcast. If you haven't seen her podcast, check it out. It's I interviewed her probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Brilliant woman. Would love for her to come to the retreat, actually.
So I want to add in what Sabrina just showed, that screenshot. So not only the networking piece, which I think a lot of women business owners discount the importance of networking for business growth. So let me add to that piece. And then I want to bring up one other point for what she was showing us on screen, that what I find in networking, and I'm a part of Sabrina's H Club and, you know, the membership she offers. I'm also a part of a membership in a different community. And I will tell you that most of my clients come from the interactions I have in these communities when I'm networking, because it offers an opportunity to, like, everyone that's there gets to know me with a bit more depth. And then I get to point them in the direction where they can learn more about me, which I'm an Instagram and business growth coach. So I really teach people how to optimize social media as a way to live online as your living business card. So, you know, for Sabrina, it's phone number and then connecting that way. For me, it's let me follow you on Instagram and then I'm going to send you a message. It doesn't matter which way you do it, but the connection, because now we know each other more than just having found you on the internet, which is fine. I get clients that way too. But you will create a thriving referral source once people get to know you better and they understand your business better. And when you attend retreats like this, everyone else is going to get to know your business intimately, because that's just what will inevitably happen. You'll create deeper connections with everyone who's there. And then it's easier for them to refer people to you. Absolutely. And it creates part of this business funnel that we, a lot of times we're focused just on the numbers, right? How many followers, how many clients? But the reality is, when we have authentic word of mouth referral sources, they're doing the work for us behind the scenes. And part of that is created by showing up to spaces where other women in business are.
Absolutely.
The other thing that was a part of what Sabrina pulled up was when you go to retreats, you want to reflect and integrate. So I wanted to touch on that because a lot of times we go to conferences online, in person. We take pages and pages of notes. We learn a lot. We feel really inspired. We're like, ooh, yes.
I just was at the Inspire tour, so I took, but against exactly what you're going to say, I'm actually going through it right now. But what are you going to say? Because what you're going to say is the truth.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with this, right? Me too. I always take lots of notes so I can reference back. I will say a lot of times, and I have coached women business owners for the past 12 years. And what I have found is that a lot of times we attend these retreats, we feel lots of big feelings and excitement, and we take all these notes, and then we do nothing with them. We go home, we lose that like fiery feeling that we had, and we're back in the rut of doing what we do for our lives every day. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we want you to leave this retreat with the opportunity. Well, let me back up and say, we want, while you're at the retreat, to have the opportunity to reflect and integrate, so that when you get home, you've already started that process. Mm-hmm. You've already been implementing. You've already been trying this and trying that. Even though we're with each other for just a few days, we're going to actually integrate the implementation into the learning, so that you not only have notes and notes and notes, but then you're also implementing in real time, and you're getting feedback from us, from the other women there. I'm going to try it this way. What do you think about that? And you get to refine the process while you're integrating and implementing, so that when you leave, it's not just a notebook full of notes. It's actual practice of having done it, so that you're more likely to keep doing it once you get home.
Absolutely.
Which is one of the most important parts, because you can throw your money at all these conferences and attend them and take all the notes. but the learning happens in the doing over and
Absolutely.
over and over.
Yeah. You know, this actually reminds me of when Emily was speaking, is it reminds me of like when you are a person who is learning how to ride a bike. Like, let's say you're, I don't even know, you're like 8 years old and you're learning how to ride a two-wheeler. Is that too old? Is that too old? What time of, I don't know. But
No,
let's say you're 8 and you're learning how to ride a bike, and your parents can talk to you till you're blue in the face, or they're blue in the face, about how to ride a two-wheeler and how to balance and what it's going to look like and what it's going to feel like. But and that's what a lot of these events are, right? They're just talking about how to ride a bike, and you're like, "Ooh, this sounds interesting. Oh, this sounds really cool." But until you actually get on the bike, the two-wheeler, and actually ride around, it's totally different. So what Emily is talking about here is, I don't know if any of you remember, I still remember when I caught wind and rode my bike on two wheels. I remember the bike. I remember how nervous I was. I remember I thought my mom was still hanging on, and then she motherfucking wasn't. And I was riding my bike all by myself. And then as soon as I felt that, when my mom went to grab the back of my banana seat again for like the next time around doing it, I was like, I don't need it. Yeah, let me try it. And then I did it. So this is what Emily is talking about here is, listen, we're not just going to say, hey, this is how you ride a bike. 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 We're going to say, this is how you ride a bike. Then we're going to say, get on the bike.
Get up.
Get on the bike. Yeah.
Do it.
Ride it around. Yeah. And we're going to be there. We're going to hold your hand. We're going to hold the little handle of the banana seat. And we're going to have you try it over and over and over again until you're riding the bike. Yeah. Right. We're not gonna be able to go home with you and watch you ride bikes for the rest of your life, but we're going to teach you how to let loose on the bike. And that is the hard part. The hardest part is just the beginning, is the learning, is the wall of like, I don't even know where to start, where to go. We're going to do all of that with you there in the group. Yeah. So that when you go home, you can just get on the bike and ride. That's like,
yeah. So it's really like retreats offer this very intentional pace, right? So like when you're learning to ride a bike, it's very intentional. You go outside, you know, maybe you're wearing knee pads and elbow pads, maybe not, maybe you have your helmet. You're like, okay, I'm really focused. I'm ready. Like, this is what I'm doing. That's like what you're focused on. That's the intention. A lot of times with business growth, again, there's so much other noise happening that we forget to be intentional with our focus. So the beauty of this retreat is there's an intentional pace, which we have created with the itinerary and laser focus, so that you have this physical and metaphorical space for sparking new ideas and the opportunity to talk these ideas through with everyone around you while you're learning and things are coming up. You have the opportunity to think about it and then to refine it in the moment and implement right there. And what happens is this like setting decreases the resistance that your brain will try to use to keep you from taking, or to keep you from the like, I'm not 100% ready mentality. Yeah. And this was something we actually talked about this morning in the H Club Mastermind. Was what Sabrina shared is that she takes action when she feels 70% ready. Mm-hmm. And then I shared the reminder that we really only need a 10% edge to serve our clients, whether it's a product or service-based business. And when you're in this atmosphere, what an in-person retreat offers, you're taking action while you're like 25% ready. But the energy of it is such that you get to that feeling more ready faster than you would at home, because you're around other energy of like, yeah, do that, try it, let's see what works. And honestly, this is also I don't know any large business that doesn't do A/B testing for everything. And so it's the same for you as a business owner, whether you're a solopreneur or you have a few folks that help you, a VA, whatever that looks like. Trying things to see how they work, especially when you're not 100% ready, is the same as A/B testing. You're learning what works. You're learning how to change it up, what other things you can implement, how you can do it differently. And the energy of doing that in a space where everyone else is doing the same thing cannot be replicated anywhere other than being there physically together in person at a retreat.
Love that. Yep. And this talks about just that, being a business owner. Most people do not understand what you're going through.
Yeah. But we all will.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're around like-minded people who are doing exactly what they do, here, they will know exactly where you're coming from because they have been there themselves and are perhaps seeking time in retreat for similar reasons as you.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. So I was just showcasing our awesome website here that Emily put together with her brilliance. But Renew and Ignite, all-inclusive women's business retreat. Emily, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about what that means, all-inclusive.
Okay, so what are you going to get? Do you want to scroll down to, keep going. Okay, right there. So once you arrive, so if you're driving, once you arrive to the location, it's all inclusive. If you're flying, then once you land at Hartsfield-Jackson, which is the Atlanta airport, we will pick you up. So it's 4 days, 3 nights, accommodation at the Airbnb where we will be staying, as well as transportation to and from the airport if you're flying in. We'll have a welcome reception on Thursday, as well as a business gift basket for each woman. And I should say right now, there are 8 spots for the retreat and 4 have already been booked. So we have 4 spots available. All your meals, snacks, beverages, and then I'm going to be leading group fitness and meditation for us each day, because one of the other goals of this retreat is to get you to start thinking about not just the health of your business, but also your own health, because it's hard to scale and focus on the health of a business if you're not also taking time for yourself. So we'll be integrating that. There's a hot tub. We are literally right on the lake. You can see in the picture to the right, there's a view of the lake from the porch. There's a fire pit out there. I mean, we're right on the water. So there will be the hot tub, lake access, lake toys, like if you want to go paddle boarding, that kind of stuff. And then all the group coaching and workshops and training from Sabrina and I. We also have a professional photographer coming on the 3rd day of the retreat, and you will have access to all those photos to use for whatever you want for your business, but you'll have access to that. So that's what happens once you arrive. It's taken care of. Another really important part, so I feel like I should add, I do Instagram and business growth coaching. My first profession was in sports medicine as a certified athletic trainer, and I'm also a certified health education specialist. My master's is in community health. So it's also really important to me when I'm coaching women in business that you remember that your worth is not attached to your productivity. So while it's important to know how to be most productive, it's also important to know how to unwind for your full health, not just your physical health, your mental health, like the social well-being, emotional well-being, the whole wellness wheel perspective. So a lot of that is going to be built in, including all food is provided, but we're going to integrate you into that process of food prep, because that's a really important part of how you can take care of yourself. It doesn't mean you have to like start growing a garden and do all food prep in your home and get rid of convenience. But the goal is to teach you what you need to know about sales, social media, systems for your business, and also how to have a balance of I have a business and I have a life, because none of us started our business for our business to run us.
Yeah.
And our goal is to really help you create systems that are sustainable so that you can have that freedom and flexibility that you created your business for, while also having the impact you want to have. And that is the sweet spot that not everyone gets to, that we want to help you start to work toward.
Yeah. For a lot of you, that is the holdup.
Yep.
That's really it. It's just the systems. There's no system. So your brain can only do so much. They actually say that your brain can only answer 20 questions a day. That's it. So for those of you by the end of the day, like freaking 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, if you're just checked out, it's literally because you're just overloaded with so many. And the questions are as simple as, what should I wear today?
Yeah.
Literally. Should I wear my hair up or down? Should I put on these earrings or those earrings? Should I wear these pants or those pants? What should I have for lunch? What am I making for right there? That's like 10 questions. And you haven't even, it's not even 9 o'clock yet.
Yep.
Right. Then you have your, whoever's, you're on the phone with, you're in networking, you're whatever you're doing, you're getting pulled in a million different directions. There's so much going on all the time. So when you start to create systems for yourself, right, then it lessens the amount of thinking that you have to do in your world, which then opens up your world for creativity. One of the things that I talk about a lot, I was used to be a productivity and time management coach a few years ago. And one of the things that I used to talk about all the time is the fact that oh my God, did I just lose my train of thought? Girl.
Creativity and productivity coach. And one of the things you used to talk about a lot.
One of the things that I used to talk about all the time was a lot of things. We used to talk about a lot of things a lot of the time. You're going to have to come back to me. Damn it. It was good. It's going to be good when I remember it.
Oh, I love it.
Oh.
Okay. So I want to, okay, if your thought comes back, grab it. But I want to throw in there that I think I've said this a lot. I know I've said this in other conversations Sabrina and I have had, that this is an opportunity in-person retreats to create or to have new creative energy. And I want to
I remember it.
Pause here. Okay. Wait. Let me finish my thought so I don't lose it. Write it down. I do not consider myself a creative person. And because my brain thinks of creativity as like, oh, I can draw, I can paint, I can do art type creativity. You can ask although my 6-year-old is precious. He's like, Mommy, you do the best drawings. And I'm like, they just look like big blobs on paper. I can draw, I will draw you a box and then turn it into 3D, but don't ask me to draw a dinosaur. Okay. So that's how
I'm bomb at freaking drawing boxes.
I know.
I'm so good at that.
Even 3D letters.
Yes.
Mommy, draw me a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I'm like, I'm going to need a tutorial. So when people say to me, how are you creative? What's your new creative energy? That's where my brain goes. So if you are someone similar and that's how your brain categorizes creativity, I want to remind you that you started, run, own, and grow a business. That is a creative endeavor.
Absolutely.
And the goal of this type of fully immersive experience is to generate new creative ideas so that you can evolve in your business. This is a great reminder to me. I think it was Claudia said that. I can't remember who said it, but it was in a mastermind, in one of Sabrina's masterminds, of no, you're creative. You started your own business. So I am reminding you as well, if you're someone who thinks about creativity in the same way that my brain initially does, this is where you come to harness new ideas in the creative part of your brain that gave you the competence to start your business in the first place. You have an impact you want to make. You have a business you want to grow. You have an income you want to create. This is the next step. You can't afford not to come to this retreat, because your business won't grow like you want it to without doing something different. And this is the perfect opportunity.
Love that.
All right. Now, what was your thought?
Absolutely. It's going to be a total shift now, but I was going back to the questions, right? How many questions you can take in one day.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that I talk about all the time is that we a lot of times treat our brains like storage units. So just like, how much crap can I freaking put into my brain and like memorize? This is what you're taught at school. You have to like memorize all the things with all the stuff. And our brains are not meant to be freaking filing cabinets or storage units. It's like not what it's meant for. So the importance of making sure that we are clearing that stuff out, getting organized in those systems, right? Having our passwords all in one spot. Some of us still have things memorized unnecessarily. Phone numbers memorized. All the people, like I'll know people like, I know all the people that I talked to last month. Why? Why do you know the name of every person you talked to last month? You need a CRM, girl. You need an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing to be excited about or to be braggadocious about. If you know every single person you've talked to, girl, you're playing too small. Too small. There should be points in your business where somebody signs up and you have no freaking clue who that person even is.
Yes.
That's a good feeling.
Yes.
So stop putting so much emphasis and so much glory on your memorization and start putting more emphasis on the systems that you are creating for your business so that you can empty some of the stuff out that's in here that's not even necessary to know or to remember, so that you would then have more room for creativity. So you can draw pictures of Tyrannosaurus Rexes. Haha, kidding. No, but so that you can use that creativity to build your business out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People are like, oh my gosh, where all these things come from? What are you thinking about? How do you think up these things? Because there's nothing up here. I don't put a whole lot of emphasis on the fact that I can remember things. Like people ask me that, like, what's the title of that song? This is no offense to anybody who knows this shit. Right? But like, what's the title of that song? Who sings that? Who's in that? What movie was that? I have no freaking clue. Nor do I care. Because there's other shit that I have up here that's way more important to me. Yeah. Than like who did that, sang that, acted in that, title of that. This is my answer. Or who plays, right? Sports. This is my answer. Is that person adding to my finances? Yeah. No? Okay. Does that person know me? No? Well, then what the fuck? Why would I need to know that? Especially now with Google. Just look that shit up. Yeah. Like who plays that? Google it. Why does it matter who plays that? Right? I'm busy building out and expanding a freaking brand, company, community that's unstoppable. I'm busy building an empire that is bigger than I can ever imagine. And I'm making sure that there's enough room in my brain, enough expansion, enough empty canvases to be able to paint and create on top of, right? So going to a retreat like this, where you're with two intelligent women who have created systems for themselves, where they're capable of doing those things, can take you to the next level.
The systems are so important. And one of the things I teach my clients is how to automate DMs with ManyChat. This is one of the things we'll be going over. And I remember when I first started teaching this, I was an early adopter of ManyChat when it first came out. And I remember when I first started teaching this, people would say, like my clients would say, no, I want to personally respond to every message. And I would say, I understand that you can personalize the automated response. You can personalize it. But the reality is, when somebody wants information and they have messaged you about it, and unless you're literally on your phone all day, like you have all your notifications turned on and you get a ping every time somebody sends you a question or a message so that you can respond, you are doing yourself a huge disservice to be focused in any other area other than being interrupted by your phone all the time. When you are intentional and thoughtful with the way you automate the systems that you automate, it increases conversions and it increases the feeling of connection to you. So in this specific example with ManyChat, you create the message that goes back to them. You personalize it. So it's your voice. So it's your information. But that way, when people want the information, it's delivered to them. And I talk about this with my clients a lot, because what we hear is that, oh, humans have short attention spans. And what I believe is not that we have short attention spans, it's that we're sorting through so much information all the time that is thrown at us. We're on our phones. We only give 2 to 3 seconds per bit of information. So let's say you're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or any of them. You're looking and your brain is giving like 2 to 3 seconds per piece of content as to whether or not you're intrigued enough to stop and watch it. And if it speaks to you, then you give it your attention. Then you stop and are totally zoned in, right? You're like fully engaged in consuming whatever that piece of content is. And if someone is fully consumed in your content and you say to them in your messaging, I have this resource for you that's free, or this trial offer, and they reach out to you for it and they don't hear back from you almost instantaneously, they're going to forget what they reached out to you for when you finally message them back.
Absolutely.
So like automating these things is about delivering information so that the person who wants to stop thinking about how am I supposed to find clients. We're going to teach you how to show up so that they find you. Yeah. And they cannot find you and get information from you if you are not available, showing up, and if you don't have systems in place that work for you so you don't have to work all the time.
Yeah. Love that. Love that. One of the things, I just went to the Aspire tour last Wednesday down here in Fort Lauderdale. It was absolutely phenomenal. One of the things, two things, Eddie and Andrew are the owners of it. They're co-owners of this huge thing. It started 3 years ago. They started with 9 people in a little tiny conference room in freaking a hotel, literally 9. It was 11 people. 2 of them were their workers. So 9 people total. And now the one that we just went to was 3,000 in attendance. Huge Broward Convention Center. It was insane for how little time they've been putting this together for. They did a great job. But Cody was talking about all of the trials and tribulations to get to where they are right now. Mm-hmm. And he very, very clearly stated that the reason that they have been able to continue to push through is because of the community that they are around and the stories of which they hear of other trials and tribulations. It's really easy to give up, right? They talked about their very first convention, large convention they put on with thousands of people. The whole convention center got flooded out. The whole convention center had like 6 inches of water throughout the whole freaking thing. And they still had to they had to HVAC the whole place out before they came in. The second one that they put on, this is when they first started the big ones. The second one they put on, a freaking tornado hit the day before the freaking convention. The third one they put on, half of the stage like fell out of the ceiling or something crazy. And they said when that third one happened, they said like if something, because things happen in threes, right? Yeah. So like if something would have happened the fourth time, like that's a sign where they're just like, we cannot do this again. Literally the fourth one, same thing. All the way up to the fifth one, some huge catastrophic bull crap happened right in the middle of their freaking convention being put on. They do these all over the world. They've done 25 in 25 months of these big ones. Wow. And the first 5 were just insanely obstacle trials and tribulations, right? Yeah. So first. Second, one of the speakers during the Aspire conference said something that just motivated the crap out of me. She said, we all have the sight for like the vision of whatever you're creating. Yep. We all have the right to build the frick you want to build. But the third part is what a lot of people are missing, and that is the fight. It's the fight, ladies and ladies. I want to share my screen really fast right now. So restore your fighting spirit. That is one of the goodnesses that can come out of these retreats. See, most business owners start their business with a fighting spirit. I know I did. Did you, Emily? Were you like all gung-ho in the beginning or no? Did you just casually start?
No, it definitely wasn't casual. I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Same. So much excitement. I'm like, I'm going to really fucking take over the world. And that core motivation to succeed and thrive in the spirit of odds. Your energy may have been what drove the business forward to a critical velocity during your startup launch. Yes, I can say yes to that. You will fight your will to fight may be what helped your business overcome challenges and setbacks, even in the beginning. But listen, this is where a lot of us are right now, right? If you've lost your creativity, your motivation, your driven perspective, or if you're tired, if you're just like, dude, contemplating going back to corporate, not sure where to go, you're feeling unfocused, you're feeling overwhelmed, a retreat could be just the thing. See, and this is what Emily's talking about, the relaxation with physical challenges like kayaking, some exercise, along with getting that vigor, that achievement back in, that excitement back in, being able to have really solid conversations with people that are there, that are like, dude, this is great. Right? I have a woman right now that's redoing my website. Her name's Orshi. She's phenomenal. And I told her, we met up for the fourth time. First website's on its way. I'm so mother effing excited about this. But I had a side conversation with her, and I was like, hey, my son was in my office, and he saw me like fiddling around with the rough draft of the website right now, and he asked to see it. I showed him the whole thing. He loved it. Dude, when I tell you the excitement she had over knowing that some obscure person like my son loved the website was like 10 times better than me even saying I love the website. Like when I said, she's like, oh, I'm so happy. When I told her my son loved the website in a whole nother conversation, like the next day, she was like jumping off the walls. This is the type of stuff because sometimes we forget. Yeah. All we're dealing with is just our customers and ourselves. And sometimes we forget the excitement of like other people knowing what we do, seeing what we do. And sometimes that is the reignite that we need to keep that fire rolling, to keep that fight in us.
I want to add to that, Sabrina and I, my focus is women that own their own businesses, right? And that's who this retreat is for. And a lot of times, I've read a lot of books about this, done a lot of research about this in my past 12 years of owning my own business. Little boys are really taught to take risks, to try things, to get dirty. You're going to scrape your knees. And this is kind of it's not an intentional programming, but what it does is it sets this precedence that then grown men are open to taking risks, are open to, well, I just have to try and figure it out along the way. And most of the time, this is, I'm totally the average person, but young women are taught the opposite. We're not necessarily taught anymore to be seen and not heard, but it's a similar mentality of like, don't be in a place that is above and beyond where you should be. I think there's a shift happening with the younger generations, but I'll say as a woman in my 40s, that's definitely a space I get pushed up against, and I feel it and I know it, so I can address it. But when you look at things like a retreat, whether it's virtual, in person, a lot of times we will look at it, and I feel like I need to have a caveat here and say, I'm not judging anyone who's in this place, but I want to bring light to it. If your first response when you look at this opportunity to grow the business that you have invested time, money, intimacy, time away from your family, time away from the friends, the things you love, if you look at this and your first thought is, I need to check the family calendar, I get that, of course, and I need to check with my husband. again, this is not a judgment because, of course, we have to check and make sure, all the things. I know when my husband has work things, he doesn't necessarily talk to me about it before he plans it. He'll tell me, hey, I'm going to this conference and it's these days and I'll be out of town. I want to make sure you have it on your calendar. Now, do we have very different businesses? Yes, he works for a state agency. It's a different situation. But it is also a mentality that we feel like we don't want our business to inconvenience anyone else and the decisions we make for our business. Your business can't grow past where it is if you're not willing to take some risks. And attending a retreat can feel like a risk if you haven't done something like this before. If you were to pay coaches for what we are going to be offering you in this 4-day, 3-night retreat, you're looking truly for what we're going to teach you and the like one-on-one guidance and coaching and group coaching that you're getting before, during, and after. You would be paying truly tens of thousands of dollars to get all of this information.
Yep.
So we really want you to have this mindset shift of, my business is not an inconvenience to my friends or my family or me. And the investment to grow it is important so that I can do more than I've done before. And that's what we're offering. And that's what we hope that you will see the value in. Again, we have 8 spots. 4 are already booked. We have 4 spots left. I'm so excited. I will tell you, I've never attended an in-person retreat and not had my business grow.
Absolutely.
And I've attended them. I've hosted them. It doesn't matter. My business always grows. I always learn something. I always leave with deeper connections to the people that are there and to myself. Always. Every time. There's no way you can attend. And as long as you are actually mentally and physically there with us, there's no way your business will not grow unless you just literally do nothing with the information we give you.
Yeah. This reminds me of the way you buy is the way you sell, and the way you sell is the way you buy.
Mm-hmm.
So like if this is something that you know you need and you do not invest, the audacity of you sitting in front of your clients and being so baffled by them not buying from you, even though you know they need you so bad.
Yeah.
See, because when you invest like this gives you the story of, listen, I get it. I just went to a retreat that's slightly out of my price range, but I knew it was something that my business needed. Therefore, I went. Therefore, I attended. Therefore, I invested. However you want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you a story to then be able to tell to your client. I get it. I did that too. But I took the risk. I did the thing. Therefore, I now was able to, whatever the story is. And then being able to say, hey, I want that for you too. In the area of your trauma, your relationships, your finances, your weight loss, your struggle with diabetes, hair loss. Something to think about, ladies. And with that, this was good. I really appreciate this. So Emily wanted me to pull up also the Airbnb, all these pictures. The location, ladies, I'm telling you, just this.
Yeah, honestly.
just this.
Location.
Yeah. It's like, even if you're just like, I don't even know what these ladies could teach me. Ladies, just
I shared some pictures of the retreat location on social media, and my cousin who lives in New York was like, "Can I just come and hang out? This place looks so relaxing."
Absolutely.
So it's not just going to be like grind and hustle while we're there, ladies.
Yeah.
Like there will be relaxation. There will be time for you to chill, which is the point, to like work and chill and again find that balance. And I'll just say, I grew up in North Georgia, and I know sometimes people are like, "Oh, North Georgia, what's it like?" We're basically in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. We're on a lakefront property on Lake Arrowhead, so in the rolling hills. And in May in North Georgia, everything is blooming. Spring is there. It is a beauty that I can't really describe in words. So the relaxation will go beyond just the physical space. It will also be the feeling of where we are, the beauty of what you're surrounded by, the things you'll be learning. It's really truly a fully immersive experience. And again, it's not just what you're learning from us, it's what you'll learn from everyone. Yeah. I know Sabrina and I could say so many more. We could really point out so much more to you. But really, the thing we want you to walk away with is, if you have questions, ask. And don't wait so long that by the time you're ready, 100% quote unquote ready, that it's full. Because wouldn't that just be such a bummer that you're like finally feeling 100% ready? I want you to remember Sabrina's mentality of, you do it when you're 70% ready.
Girl, what a way to wrap it. Yes.
We didn't even plan that.
We just covered that in our mastermind this morning. You have to roll at 70%. So often we're trying to make everything at 100%. It's taking too much time, too much perfectionism. We got to jump out of the perfectionism mindset, ladies.
Because that's not real.
Dude.
Again, that's the thing that little girls are taught usually, is the perfectionism idea. Instead of the take risks and learn along the way. There is no true thing as failure. It's just learning opportunities. And that is true. There is no real failure. You just keep evolving and learning as you go. We hope you'll join us. We are pouring ourselves and our knowledge into this retreat, and this will be the first of many. We would love to have you join us for this inaugural offering.
The first one. Let's kick it off, ladies. Let's kick it off. All right. Well, I'm so excited, ladies. Emily and I will be jumping on a couple times here as we're kind of wrapping it up and selling off the rest of these spots. We're super excited. Already these first 4 have gone so fast. We know the last 4 are going to go even quicker. So make sure that if you're thinking about it, just start messaging us, ask us questions, get in the conversation, start figuring out the logistics of it, because these first sold literally boom, 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 boom. And it's as quick as that. And we'd hate for you to miss this if this is something that you really feel like you should be going to. So any closing thoughts as we wrap up, girl?
I think the last thing I'll say is just trust that your business can have the impact you want. You just have to be willing to put yourself into it, and that can feel really scary, and we understand that. And the goal is to give you the little push into the confidence you already have. So it's the courage to step into your confidence and put yourself out there. Whether coming to the retreat is the right next step or not, step with courageous action into the next thing for yourself.
Love it. All right, ladies. Well, as always, we love that you are here. My name is Sabrina and Victoria. I invite you to join Her Nation Global, where we continue to have conversations just like this. We're bringing you the best stuff. We're bringing you the best stuff here. Until next time,